Welcome to episode 4 of QuickTime Event, a show where my friend Chris and I discuss video games and technology for the next half hour or so. So, I started replaying Fallout 3, mostly because I was playing Fallout 4 and then I decided I wanted to be an evil dick, and I found out you can't kill everybody in Diamond City, and so you can't, just lay waste to everyone. Which made me sad, so I realized I needed to play Fallout 3 because in that case you pretty much can. I was realizing though, just not in the fact that you can kill more people in Fallout 3, but the dialogue. And people had mentioned this when Fallout 4 came out, but the dialogue choices in Fallout 3 are far, far better. Like, as far as just random encounters and storytelling and world building, so much better. And I realized why you and I have dumped a lot of time between, like, Fallout 3 and New Vegas, I'm sure, just because of those worlds are so much more entertaining than what they did with Fallout 4, I think.
Actually, now you've got me curious. I'm actually going to look up how much time I've spent playing those games now.
And then you're going to get sad and cry?
Because I've wasted my life? Yeah, probably.
Yes. No, there's no crafting system in 3, really, besides the few unique items. And most of the good weapons are things that you find off of people, and they have unique names, and then you just repair them and whatnot. And there's something about that system of just how Fallout 3 was designed and how it works that's really great. Granted, there is a downside. I'm playing my copy on my PS3, and it's a glitch fest right now. I've had it crash multiple times on me. Granted, I had Fallout 4 crash on me on my PS4 last week, so Bethesda game.
Yeah. Bethesda.
So just playing through Fallout 3 this way, it's reinvigorating and just kind of like what this world could be. Granted, the biggest downside is when trying to aim, there's no aiming down the sights, and I forgot that Fallout 3 didn't have that. So that's just kind of, it is what it is. It's like I just kind of slightly zoom in the reticle area.
Yeah, no. I remember having to get a mod just so I could aim down the iron sights. Especially, I think New Vegas did the same thing that Fallout 3 did, and I had to get a mod for it. I couldn't. Don't just give me a slightly tighter reticle. Give me the actual. Give me the iron sights.
Right. So were you able to get how many hours you put in?
Apparently, Steam did not want to track how long I played Fallout 3.
Okay.
But I did play 116 hours of Fallout New Vegas, but 166 of Fallout 4.
Okay.
A lot of that has been modded though. So I'm not playing the actual game anymore so much as I am just playing my own games in the Commonwealth.
Alrighty.
But
it's the mod community definitely does add a lot of value to the games, which is surprising, but
that doesn't surprise me a bit. I mean, that's free content, and I'm so glad that Bethesda has just accepted that as part of their games since Morrowind.
Yeah, no, I was just meaning it's surprising at how much content there is. From the viewpoint of how many people really put so much time and energy into making additional content
into making free shit or fixing the game.
Yeah, the fixing the game one is like, please. As great as it is that you're fixing it, don't give EA any ideas. We'll just open mods, and then we'll just ship a game that's 50% done and tell everybody, oh, you could just mod it and fix everything.
Yeah, I think even if Bethesda just gave us a half-done game that shit was just untextured and the only thing that people would do with that is create a texture mod, and all it is just penises.
Oh, yeah. That's going to be number 1. So Pokemon Sun and Moon launched recently, and I've been seeing some good things about it, some bad things about it. I guess it's apparently one of the best games for an absolute newcomer because it kind of has big, massive-ass training wheels to get everybody caught up, which, considering how long Pokemon's been going on and how many times they've changed and advanced the system from generation to generation, I could appreciate that. But the biggest thing that's cracked me up is the Alola variant of Dugtrio with its giant flowing locks, which the internet has gone crazy over. A lot of people have posted memes of the Dugtrios with the He-Man face for the whatever video that went around years and years ago.
Yeah.
So I appreciate that, and it just goes to show that we thought the Executor Alola variant was weird with its palm tree kind of long body and head kind of deal going on. And there's Dugtrio, which, okay. Not the weirdest one, apparently. So I'm not certain if I'm going to buy Sun and Moon. Mostly because it's a Pokemon game, and most Pokemon games are very grind heavy, and I don't know of a way to make my 3DS run faster, because that's the only way I can play the old ones anymore, is to run it on an emulator and then crank the speed on it. So grinding isn't such a time investment.
Yeah.
I mean, for little kids, it's great because it's just like, good, this will keep them busy for literally hours on end. But for me, it's like, this is going to keep me busy for hours on end for something that really isn't worth it. I just want to keep moving forward. After some technical difficulties, we're going to move on to the next topic, which was the fan-made Majora's Mask film, A Terrible Fate. And this
whole podcast has suffered a terrible fate. Oh.
Yeah. But Majora's the fan film, really good. I watched it like almost 3 times in a row, like just full screen, just rewatching it, because it was very much a like I've watched a lot of Zelda fan-made films, and I'm sure you have, and for the most part, a lot of stuff is garbage.
Oh yeah,
the biggest good one that stands out to me is the one where I think somebody used Gary's mod, and it's just Link like needing rupees, so he's going around smashing all the pots or whatever. And I love that one because that one was just nonsensical to begin with, and it was 100% reflective of what you do in the game. This one was very good and actually made me kind of hopeful that somebody actually could do a Zelda like movie and actually do it right.
Yeah, that's not that one Zelda movie that we watched in, what was it, freshman year of college? That was just garbage. It was hot garbage.
I forgot about that. My brain intentionally blocked that one out because it was so bad.
I completely forgot about it until you just mentioned it right now. Like, oh, Zelda movie. Wait, I've seen that before. It was bad. Yeah. Oh no, it's coming back.
That was really bad. Yeah, that's I still am hopeful. Like, there are people who are on this bandwagon, and I remember saying this a long time ago, that I would really love for Studio Ghibli and Nintendo to just pair together to make a Zelda film, because I think that just even if it was like 30 minutes, like a short or something, just the Studio Ghibli animation style for the intricacies of the background versus the very flat characters would be, and especially they're taking their hands and putting Nintendo music behind it, would just be phenomenal.
Yeah.
I mean, it could literally just be one dungeon, and kind of like an end game kind of deal, don't have to do everything, just show a little bit, and it'd be really fun. Especially looking at the original artwork for the first Legend of Zelda, which kind of has that, Studio Ghibli kind of styled characters.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I'm hopeful. I mean, granted, as far as I'm concerned, the best fan film made thing ever is Nuka Break.
It's good. I'll give it that.
That is my favorite, just because it's like there wasn't much, the world existed, and they just kind of did their own thing with it, and it was really well done in my mind. Other than that, there's a lot of things that aren't so good in fandoms.
I mean, I hope that if they ever do a Zelda movie, like, don't get me wrong, this one, Terrible Fate, it was pretty, but it just it it was unnerving, and not in the same way that Majora's Mask is supposed to be unnerving. Like, just the happy mask guy, seeing him not have his like closed eye kind of weird grin at
Yeah.
all times, it puts me off. I feel like it would be better if it was like give me a Studio Ghibli film, and it make it 2D. Like,
Yeah.
yeah, give me that.
That, because, like, okay, and this is what makes me really envision this is like, so Princess Mononoke, the scene with Ashitaka riding the red elk, and he's shooting the arrows off at the guys. That kind of idea, like envisioning how fast he's moving, but imagining Link on Epona doing like shooting arrows at Octoroks kind of deal. Like, that fluid imagery would work perfectly within like the Zelda universe with those characters and creatures, especially just because their backgrounds are so detailed and polished and painted so well, and Nintendo's environments are always have that Nintendo polish. They're done so super crisp and clean, and everything is very apparent onto, you know, this kind of world for as minuscule as features they really put into it. Yeah, no, I mean, here's to wishing. I mean, Nintendo came out a while ago saying that they were looking at doing media with their characters and animation and whatnot, and it's not like they haven't before. It's just they don't have a good track record. The Zelda animated series was awful. The Mario Brothers like cartoon stuff was pretty
passable.
bad.
It was passable though. Like,
for its era, it was all right, but it's still, yeah.
yeah, no,
I started
it's
watching
not
it.
super great, but it's passable. It's nostalgia fodder. That's all it is. The once a week thing that they did with the fucking Zelda show was bad.
Yeah.
I hated myself for it. But like the Super Mario Brothers Super Show with the live action plumbers, that was bad.
Yeah.
That was bad.
Yeah.
But
it's interesting though, because like you look at all the video games that had like some cartoon or content, and I started watching a little bit of the Mega Man one, and it's all right. I mean, it is what it is. Like, it's Mega Man. What are you going to do with it?
Thomas Light, just Dr. Wily.
You must recover all the energy immediately, Mega Man.
But where is Dr. Wily?
That's a good question. We may be able to locate another energy emission from the radar room. When we find that meteor, we'll find Dr. Wily.
His fucking voice acting was bad. It was so bad, though.
But that it just makes me I'm really amazed, because as far as characters, you know, and icons of classic gaming have gone, and how downhill his games have gone. The Sonic the Hedgehog cartoon, not the adventures, not the really dumb one, but the actual like serious Sonic the Hedgehog.
Yeah, Sonic was Saturday Morning. That one.
That one was really good, and it still holds up very well to this day.
It's real good. Honestly, even Sonic Underground, that was a pretty good one.
Yeah,
for what it was, like
yeah. But it's just kind of like, you know, Mario still has great games and everything and all this stuff. Like, there's still great games coming out, so it's like you only get a great cartoon out of your media when your game series starts to go downhill.
Apparently, yeah.
Apparently.
But I think the main difference is that even though Sonic isn't a game about like conservation or any like that, like it's just go fast and catch this fat guy who runs equally as fast as you for no reason, and then beat the shit out of his robots, like stop him from getting cast. And like the fact that there's kind of an undercurrent, just maybe not intentional, but it was there of, oh, we gotta save the aminals from being robo aminals.
Yeah.
But yeah, I can say animals. By the way, don't shut up.
No, it's just and that's the thing is I think it's because they didn't try to cram so much into it, which is like Mario has an overarching storyline, so it's very difficult to do much with it because
Yeah, it's just guy goes to save princess from dragon turtle.
yeah.
Guy saves, guy wins. Like the only ones that have ever had a story that wasn't just that were the RPG ones, and I don't want to watch an anime based on the RPG of Mario. Like I don't want to watch a cartoon of that. I just want to play that.
Right.
So
yeah,
I mean,
so
yeah.
Maybe we'll finally see something really good. So next week, apparently Final Fantasy 15 is finally going to be coming out. I'm still on the weary with it. I'm just going to see what the fan reception is. My friend, who was not going to pre-order it at all, he wasn't going to pre-order any games, decided that he is weak-willed and pre-ordered Final Fantasy 15 and The Last Guardian. So he's like, I'm waiting for those because that's going to eat up a lot of time. I don't know. I'm not sure about Final Fantasy 15. I will probably play it at some point in time. It's just, I don't know. I played like their demo that they had for the battle mechanics. I enjoyed it, but I'm not sure if the story is going to be anything to really make me want to sit and go through the hours upon hours of it. I'm still more excited for the Zodiac edition of Final Fantasy 12 to be coming out, the Zodiac Age or whatever, where it's all redone in HD and it has the Zodiac job system, or license board. I don't know. I loved Final Fantasy 12, and I'm just kind of like, yeah, I'd be okay with that, because that story is absolutely phenomenal, and I'm ready to go through it again.
Yeah. Final Fantasy 15, though. Strange that it's been going on for 15 years, right?
Has it been in 15 years of development?
No, I'm
No.
making the world's dumbest joke about how it's totally a yearly thing, just because there's so many. But
yeah,
no, it's
actually
it's been going on for like what 35 years at this point.
The Final Fantasy series has its 30th anniversary next year. Start 2017.
Okay,
marks its 30th anniversary. Actually, I'm looking to see how long Final Fantasy 15 has been in development.
I'm gonna guess probably just like 2 or 3 years.
Oh no. This was in development before Final Fantasy 13 even came out.
Really?
Yes, because it was part of the Final Fantasy 13 system. It was Final Fantasy Versus 13. That's what it's supposed to take place in the same world. That's what they started it as. Development, gameplay. No, I'm not looking for gameplay. Development cycle began in 2006. So it's almost been 10 years.
Yeah. Huh.
Which, yeah. I'm just going to say the joke that is, well, yeah, it took this long because Tetsuya Nomura was attached to it as the director. And apparently when he gets starting to touch things, it takes forever because he also is responsible for Kingdom Hearts 3. So it's just, yeah, games that are going to take a while. Like, I'm not putting my money on the Final Fantasy VII Remake to be done anytime soon, per se, because he's director for that one. And I don't...
It better be better than the other games. If it takes a decade, it needs to be a fucking good game. Otherwise, you are just wasting time.
That's I think somebody at Square Enix even said about the Final Fantasy franchise, because how it's sitting right now, if 15 does not do well, it's probably going to be the last entry in the series besides the remake for 7. It's probably going to halt it because they can't, like, 13 destroyed them, the critical reception of 13, and it didn't help for the fact that they made 13.2 and 13.3, which just got worse and worse. for people.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I played 13, and then I think I played 13.2, and I just didn't bother with 13.3. But 13 was all right, except for the 14-hour tutorial before
Something
it
like that.
actually spit out everything that was in the game, and then you could go and play the fucking game.
Yeah.
And 13.2, I think I played all of like 3 hours of, and then I was like, yeah, no, you're doing this shit where I'm 3 hours in. I should not be reading how to do X or Y. I should
Right.
be playing the fucking game at this point. If your game is so complex that you're still teaching me shit, that's not like a variant of stuff that I've already learned. Like it's new shit at the, I'm gonna say, let's be generous here, at the 5-hour point. Your game is needlessly complex, and you need to stop it.
No, it is a problem for a lot of games. I don't know if it's necessarily an issue across the board, or if it's especially heavily apparent in games from Japanese developers, where it's just, we're just gonna keep telling you things, and we're just gonna keep babying you. We're gonna hold your hand throughout the whole damn thing as much as we possibly can. I don't know, because I hate tutorial levels. I do. There's a lot of games where it's just like, oh, here's the tutorial level. This is how you run and jump. And it's just like, I can't remember who said it, but somebody said they should just have an option that comes up and say, have you played a game in the last 10 years? Press OK. Okay, we're fine, because we're using the same damn control scheme that's existed since the 360.
Yeah. Or if it needs a fucking tutorial level, then I gotta go with Ego Raptor and just do it like Mega Man X. Like, just don't give me any prompts. Just give me a level that will force me to do the things that I need to do. Like, oh, you run right to progress because going left means nothing. Oh, I gotta jump over some guys, or oh, I can make a lot of mistakes and it's okay because I have lives and energy and I can jump up walls and shit like that.
But that's the thing too, is like, I don't get where this shift came in, because even Final Fantasy VII, when you start Final Fantasy VII, like, it starts with the whole opening cinematic crawl, and then you're jumping off the train. The first thing that happens is some guys run at you, you get in a fight, right? And it doesn't tell you what you have to do. It's just, here's a menu that says attack and magic, and it gives you some time to figure out what's going on. And then it's like, okay, you move on, and then they just give you a few helpful hints. And then even when they go to tell you more about the inventory stuff, they first ask, do you want me to explain this to you or not? And you go, no, I understand how materia works, or no, I don't want a tutorial. You have that option where it's like they're like force feeding it to you in a lot of new games, where it's like, it doesn't matter. We're going to tell you how to do everything. Here we go.
Yeah, give me the ability to skip it. But I think part of that came in is because people were skipping over that and then complaining about the game. It's like, oh, I can't figure it out. Well, I mean, then you should have used the tutorial, you fucker. I think that was part of it. Is just sometimes there's going to be people are reviewing the game and they don't know how to play because they never bothered to check out the tutorial, and they haven't played a game like that in a while.
I don't know how any of these people could
It's like, it's a video game, man. It's not hard to figure out. There's almost always a button for jump. Just hit that button. Just jump until you come to a cliff and then throw yourself off of it.
Well, even then, it's one of those things where I feel like we should just maybe they should just adopt a get rid of the tutorial level entirely. Like, don't even do a tutorial level. Don't do any of that, or just, explain anything. Just do like board games. You get a rule book. You want to play the game, you got to read 20 pages of rules first.
I think somebody is going to do that, and then immediately afterward, like, everybody's going to do that, and then it's going to become old hat, just like crafting systems. Like, it's like, yeah, that'd be a neat a neat thing to happen once, and
It'd
then
be
somebody's going to do it in a game that has nothing to do with other video games. Like, it's, oh, spikes are not instant death, they're actually heals. What? Like,
yeah.
that's the exact kind of shit like that's going to happen with that.
I was actually thinking the best case for that rule book kind of deal would be if somebody, I don't know if anybody's done this, I'm not doing research right now, if they had done like a full-on Warhammer, like tabletop, but video game version of the tabletop, that'd be interesting, because it's like, here's the entire rule book, because it's based on the tabletop games, which you have to read the rule book before you can play the tabletop game. That would be pretty interesting.
Yeah.
But enough about that. So apparently you were saying there's a Kickstarter for some fancy underwear for scary games.
Yeah. So the developers of the Outlast games, or Outlast 2, are kickstarting adult diapers under the names Underscares, and it is a real thing. They're actually making diapers for Steam users because they can't figure out how to get these to people who buy the game on the consoles. Yeah, this is just from the FAQ section on the thing here, and it's, oh jeez, like the very basic stuff is like do it yourself. They'll send you like a kit on how to put it together. It's not just diapers. It's also coming with like other stuff that you would find in like a legendary edition or like a collector's edition version of the game. So it's not just they're sending you a diaper because everybody is a bunch of diaper poo babies who can't handle scary games like me. But yeah, no. So like they've also got like it's also coming with a Steam key if you buy the diapers at if you buy it for like $55, or there's also like a deluxe chapel thing. And
this is interesting.
Oh my god. Okay, so the deluxe chapel thing is only with the $6,666 version of the game, and it is 16 foot tall.
Holy cow.
And 14 foot wide. It is. Oh, I didn't even read that before I actually started talking about it. Oh, this is outstanding.
This is good PR. This is a great way to get people back into one of your properties.
Oh yeah. But yeah, like the deluxe version of the diaper comes with a drink pouch on the side. It's got a drink holster. I imagine for, I don't know, your juice box or Capri Sun.
This is great. Whoever was the writer for this definitely needs to get like mad kudos for putting this all in.
Oh yeah, no, and they're making them. It's an actual thing. It's not like the Nausea Rift that we talked about.
Yeah.
Only 2 episodes back or whatever. But yeah, no, this. Oh my god. Oh Jesus. So yeah, they've only got that max level. Nobody's bought it yet, which actually kind of surprises me, given that there are 174 backers right now.
Usually the high ticket stuff doesn't really go. Because I think a lot of people are, even those who might have the disposable funds for something that expensive are still weary of Kickstarter due to a lot of the flack that's been kind of coming around due to projects that have been failing over the past few years or not delivering on what they were supposed to. But everything that I've Kickstarted so far, I've gotten exactly what I wanted, plus more, surprisingly.
Oh, and this is Canadian money. Oh, so in American dollars, that's only 4,956.
Huh.
So, you're saving like $2,000 almost.
Nice.
So, yeah. It's special.
I was VR horror games, like with VR and like really scary stuff. It doesn't take much for a VR horror game to be really freaking terrifying.
Oh yeah, no, it's because everything is there 2 feet in front of you, regardless of where it actually is, respective of your character in the game. That's
right. And I mean, I'm honestly really surprised and I'm not trying to dog on him because he does a lot of really good things with this money, but also at the same time, for how much I've seen branding of things, I'm just kind of like, really? Scott Cawthon, the developer of Five Nights at Freddy's.
Mm-hmm.
I am really surprised that he has not, because VR's been out for a while. I'm surprised that he's not doing a VR versions of the entire catalog. Just because like the jump scare aspect of it, like, would be, it'd be relatively maybe straightforward. Maybe I'm trying to remember the development environment he uses. Probably actually doesn't support it, is my guess. But it'd be interesting to see that type of thing redone in VR. And I'm not talking about a fan game, because there's really great ones that people have picked off, from his genre of kind of what he's done with it. I'm still very weary of it because it's like the platformer syndrome of what we had in the 80s and 90s of, you're like, oh, well, Mario did really well, and people want that. So it's like platformer after platformer after platformer. It's like, oh, it's a different. Sonic did well. Now let's make it a cat. Let's make it a giraffe. Let's make it a man made of nothing but tiny little balls.
Hey, you shut your ass about Vector Man.
But it's kind of that we run into this problem where it's like, well, they're all spinning off the same kind of idea. Granted, that's mostly mechanics, and a lot of the fan games are still even just doing animatronics. So it's like, can we just leave it for him for the animatronics deal? Like, you can use the same concept and just make it, kind of creepy. Which, actually, the Five Nights at Flumpty's or whatever, that did it right, because just all that was done perfectly.
Everything was goofy and yet still vaguely terrifying, like in a kind of eldritch horror kind of way. It was good.
But it's just, there's a lot of stuff to be done. I'm just surprised that there's not a Five Nights at Freddy's like VR official, because I feel like at that point when that happened, like if that were to happen, especially for Sony to go and grab it for PlayStation VR, that would probably move as many, if not more, PlayStation VR units than Resident Evil 7.
Oh, yeah.
Is my guess.
Probably.
But, yeah, VR horror games are definitely... I know I can't do them. The few that were out that I've tried to play, I just, nope, right out of it. And I am so happy. A little part of me is sad, but also happy that Silent Hills got canceled, because otherwise, there would have been a PT VR demo, and that would be 100% the most frightening thing in the world, because that game was already scary for what it was.
Are you kidding me? No, just dear God. So, I mean, thank you, Konami, and then also fuck you, Konami.
Yeah, that'd be way too much. So let's move on. So I saw something recently that I shared with you to make everybody sad, which was the live action trailer for the Full Metal Alchemist movie, which it's a little teaser. It's not much, but also at the same time, it's one of those things where it's just kind of like, why do we have to make live action versions of things that are already perfect? Like, can we not just leave them alone?
Yeah. So it's 30 seconds of the most depressing thing if you're a fan of Full Metal Alchemist. It is I had to stop and then I wanted to go just be sad in the bathroom, and then John told me to go watch the Ghost in the Shell trailer because I hadn't seen that yet, and that was an additional 2 minutes of more sadness about everything. I'm super salty about all of this. It's kind of absurd.
Well, so the Ghost in the Shell thing, I'm a big fan of the movie, Standalone Complex and Arise. Like I love the series. I love it, kind of what it's talked about and some of the things. I'm not a fan of the movie, and there's like the director was claiming he didn't feel that it needed to, have to be race or any location or anything. But still, in my mind, Ghost in the Shell is very much rooted in Japanese kind of culture. And Scarlett Johansson, like when she was announced to play the Major, I was upset about that. And my biggest reason that I was upset was because had been talking about it and been saying that they were going to do a live action version. And in the back of my mind, what I really wanted was the girl who is in Pacific Rim. I really wanted her, the one who becomes the second Jaeger pilot for Gypsy Danger. I really wanted her to play the Major because she had already proven that she could do an action role. She is Japanese, and I feel like would actually do this character correctly for like the type of culture that she's supposed to be in. It's just. But then again, I remember it's like, well, she's, kind of dry, and the Major is, kind of her body's artificial and all this stuff and what the talk is about it. And I'm like, oh, yeah, Scarlett Johansson would be a perfect fit to play somebody who's artificial and fake. So it's...
Wow, shots fired.
Yeah, I don't really care for her. Her acting is just dry, and it just leaves me underwhelmed every single time. Like, it's just... It sounds like she's always reading lines to me. She's never impressed me. And so yeah, the trailer, there's a few things. I will give them liberty on she doesn't have to be naked for the optic camouflage kind of deal. Like, okay, whatever, it's another suit kind of deal. That's fine. But it's just kind of, it's really flashy. There's a lot of things in it that it's just kind of making me go, I really can't wait for the next Blade Runner movie. Like, that's really where it put my mind was. I'm like, this is like, it is what they're doing with it, but at the same time, it's like, at least Blade Runner for me kind of made sense for the ethnic diversity because of what it was. And I just got more hyped for the new Blade Runner film.
Well then. Like, that's not even the same studio, is it?
No,
okay.
No, I don't think so at all. But I mean, just because like Ghost in the Shell, like how the world is built and just thinking of the imagery, and especially for this trailer and what they've presented to me, it just harkened back to a lot of the stuff that you see in Blade Runner, like the big billboards and all sorts of stuff. And it's just kind of, to me, I'm like, that's really the world I want to go back to, because this one, in the trailers, it looks kind of dystopian, unclean, but it doesn't look as unclean as it's supposed to be. It's supposed to be, dirty. Like, this is the world in like some of its worst time, because it's, if I'm remembering correctly, it is 100% post World War III. And so, it's still climbing back, because I think at least in maybe this is from Arise's story or Standalone Complex, I'm trying to remember which one, but the United States is like in a civil war during this time period. So it's just, yeah, I'm a little bit upset. I'm a little bit salty because the director said, well, I think it can take place anywhere. So he did that to say okay with the casting of, how he did it. But it's clearly everything that they're in it's very clearly, an Asian-based society. I believe they were filming in Hong Kong, I think. But it's very apparent where it is.
Yeah.
But it's not the right people I think, for what it's supposed to be. Bato, I will give that Bato can be whatever, because I think Bato is actually, he like worked with the American military for a while.
My favorite thing about that whole trailer though is, and it's I'm putting it up in the video, and it's they fucking just put googly eyes on him. It was,
Yeah.
like that's all they did.
So I'm excited though, because at least we have some really good movies that are coming out. Rogue One is coming out next month, which
Yep, like 3 weeks.
Yeah, I'm so excited for it. I was excited for episode 7, but for some reason Rogue One has me even more excited because, and this is why, these people are expendable. And that's what's so great about it, is the fact, like, they're expendable heroes. They don't have to really survive the film. And there is Darth Vader, which it's like, I just want to see, I think a lot of the fandom
Just want to see Darth be
Darth Vader, yes. Just start force choking people, kill them, go after them. Like, I want to see that. Because it's just, he's not redeemed yet. Let's
show him be
dark.
evil. Like, I'm not just like angry at younglings evil, but like just a dude who's who it's just like his day job now. It's not even like,
right.
I'm just this is what I do now, and then he just murders swaths of people.
Well, that's just it, right? Like, we didn't get to see, and in my mind, we never saw Darth Vader in any films, like, of the prequel trilogy. We never saw him really be bad for the prequels, because all we saw, in my mind, even though he was redubbed Darth Vader, that was still Anakin Skywalker to me. He didn't fully become Darth Vader until he lost everything.
Yeah.
Because he was still Anakin Skywalker, because he still cared for the people he did. He was doing what he had to, at least he thought, to save the people he loved. It wasn't until he had lost it all that I think he became really Darth Vader, because he fully succumbed to his anger, because he couldn't save.
Yeah, it was
anybody.
the only thing left to hang on to.
Right. So it'll be nice to watch him hopefully cut a few people up.
Yeah. The only thing that I want to see is, honestly, I don't even care about Darth Vader at this point. I just want to see fucking Wedge Antilles be Wedge Antilles. Like,
really?
I want to know that they didn't throw out that part of the extended universe. I just want to know that they care enough. It's like, here is a guy, the only guy who is not a main character to have ever survived, like, the fucking runs on the Death Stars, both of them, and like, he fucking was a badass. Like, and like, only the books ever went on to be like, hey, remember this guy? No, you don't. He's fucking great.
Right. No, it's interesting. I'm curious to see, especially with the new Han Solo film that they're planning. I'm weary of it, but I'm curious, and I have to say that they're casting for who's going to play Lando was really good. I have to say I will give them that pick. That was a good choice.
I'll be honest, I haven't bothered looking up anything about the Han Solo movie, just because they fucking killed Han Solo, and I don't want to have my hopes up and then immediately dashed.
Right.
Again. Who was the guy they picked for Lando?
Lando is let's see if I can remember his name. I always screw him up. Yeah, Donald Glover.
Oh, no shit.
Yeah.
All right. Yeah, no, I'm on board.
He's been cast to play Lando.
I loved him in Community.
I was watching I think he was on Ellen, and he was talking about how I guess his mom told him, don't screw this up. Because I guess she was apparently a really big fan of Billy D. Williams, so it's just kind of like, all right.
Nice. I can only imagine that's like having your son grow up to be Doctor Who in England. Like, it's...
Yeah, don't screw this
yeah,
up.
don't fuck it up. This is something that people will remember because it's part of one of the big sci-fi science fantasy franchises ever. You don't want to fuck it up.
No, you don't. Thanks for listening to this week's episode of QuickTime Event. If you have an idea for the show, please comment below. You can find us on Twitter @InfoOuroboros. Lastly, if you like the show and what we do, please hit that subscribe button. Bye.